Hello and welcome to another exclusive ParkLogic video. My name's Tim, and today we'll be doing another video about the optimization of domains and how ParkLogic fits in the general sphere of the domain industry. I'm here with ParkLogic founder Michael Gilmour.
Hi, how you going, Tim?
Not too bad, yourself?
Excellent, thank you.
So, very briefly, explain how does how does the domain industry view optimization?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think people view optimization in different ways. The first thing they say, okay, we'll set keywords, and I agree with that. We need to set keywords. We need to set landing pages to make sure the presentation of the domain, and if it's a park page or if it's an affiliate program, whatever it is going to maximize the opportunity ultimately for the advertiser. So the user clicks and they interact with the advertiser. That's the first thing. The second thing is who's going to be paying the most. We're going to route the traffic from one place to another to work out who is actually paying the most for that traffic.
Okay, so how does ParkLogic fit in this sphere?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time now. Like 5 years as ParkLogic, and then prior to that I was doing this sort of thing in my own company. And the thing that we found is the routing of traffic is not a trivial exercise, and maximizing the revenue from traffic is not trivial. It's a difficult job. Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, it's just like creating a round robin or something like that, a rotator as they call them. If you're doing that, you're losing money.
Wait, could you just go back? What do you mean by rotating or round robin?
Yeah, well, sending traffic to one place, and the next piece of traffic goes to another place, and another place, and another place, and so forth. And that will lose you money.
Okay.
Like, we've developed some, what I would call is probably the industry's best, if you ask me, sophisticated algorithms for routing traffic. Let me give you an idea. Is that if you've got a piece of traffic coming in, and you're currently getting paid, say, $1 a click for that traffic, and you're sort of thinking, well, maybe if I can get paid a little bit more. So that means you need to go along and test it somewhere else. So you route that traffic somewhere else, and you got paid 80 cents.
Okay, so that's a 20-cent piece of information.
Exactly, that just cost you 20 cents. So
okay.
If you do that, and you do that constantly, then it's going to mount up.
Okay.
And so how do you actually work out that that's going to cost 20 cents before it actually is going to cost 20 cents? It's almost like preemptively working it out.
So that's where ParkLogic comes in, and we reduce leakage in that way.
Yeah, we see other people, they say to us, Michael, the only thing I care about is revenue.
Well, isn't that the point?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. Revenue is obviously very important, allows us to eat. But the problem is with that question is, I'd say revenue when?
Well, if I'm the average domainer, wouldn't I just say, so long as this month does better than that the next month, done than the previous month, then that's good, right?
That's a very common way of approaching it, but my instant reaction to that is, which month?
Okay, we're in June. What about June?
Okay, so we're going to compare, say, June versus May?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to compare June versus May. Sounds all very, very sensible. And but as soon as you say June versus May, I say, okay, so what are we doing about the school holidays in the Northern Hemisphere? The fact that a whole lot of traffic for a lot of domains just disappears. So let's imagine you're getting $1,000 a month.
You're talking about like educational sites.
Exactly, yeah.
Stuff.
So let's imagine you're getting $1,000 a domain. $1,000 for your portfolio a month. And then you go along and give the portfolio to ParkLogic. And we deliver in June $1,000. And you say, well, it just hasn't done anything. But then you look at the numbers, you think, well, hang on, the traffic just died on this, like I'm only getting 50% of the traffic. Yeah, we've done the same amount of revenue off half the amount of traffic.
Yeah, so essentially your domains are performing better with what they're given.
Yeah, it really comes down to the thing we really focus on. We've developed an internal metric called the ParkLogic RPM, or we call PLRPM.
Okay, could you give us a bit of background on that?
Yeah, sure thing. Is that one of the challenges that you can have in optimizing, say, your own portfolio is if a lot of people say, let's look at the RPM, or revenue per 1,000 visitors.
Okay.
Where M is millennium, that's where it came from. So revenue per 1,000 visitors sounds great.
Yeah. Until
such a time as you then say, okay, I'll look at the CEDO revenue per 1,000 visitors, and the CEDO per 1,000 visitor RPM is calculated differently compared to say the domain sponsor one.
Okay, so
or the name drive one.
Okay.
Or the park one, or the domain advertising.
My question
They're all
is
different.
Why do they have different RPMs?
Because they count traffic differently.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happens is this. In their efforts, each of them trying to make big efforts to keep the quality traffic, filter out the bad traffic. That they filter the traffic differently. And this is not because they're trying to be, I don't know, sharp at domain or something. This is just a nature of their technological platforms.
Okay.
So they're filtering traffic differently. So, for instance, a domain sponsor, they filter more aggressively, so their RPMs are higher because there's less traffic. There's revenue per 1,000 visitors.
Okay, this is where the ParkLogic RPM comes in, right?
Exactly. Let me explain that a bit more. So if I look at the RPM for a domain sponsor compared to the RPM for a CEDO, they're completely different.
Okay.
You cannot compare those two numbers. So what we did was we said, okay, let's count everything coming into us, and then count every piece of traffic we send to every single monetization provider for every single domain. And we count all of that, and then we see how much revenue that traffic generated. So there's no filtering at all. We then said total revenue for each place, divided by the traffic, is revenue per 1,000 visitors.
Okay.
Times 1,000. Yeah, revenue per 1,000 visitors. And that's really important. So we can then compare every monetization source versus another monetization source, and directly.
Okay. If you're saying you're measuring every piece of traffic that goes through, how do you maintain traffic quality?
Yeah, well, some of the things that we do is we obviously take a look at TQ scores and stuff like that for our traffic, or quality scores from Yahoo. We've actually just recently developed our own quality score internally for Google traffic and all that sort of thing. And we work closely with our partners on quality. Like, to me, it's in this industry you have to be fanatical about quality.
Okay.
But I think
so you use different methods of measuring quality besides filtering out bad stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think the thing with optimization is this, and I say this to the large domains, is the thing that we try to do is for a large domain portfolio. If someone comes to us, we had a person recently come to us. They're doing quite a bit of chunk of revenue, and it becomes a consulting exercise for us. So we sat down and said, okay, let's develop like an 8-week program. Okay. Here's the 8-week program, and during that time, we want a phone call every single week. At this particular time, we all sort of work out a good time for ourselves at the time, and we'll give you the results. Okay. So we provide them a report every week. We say, here is the program, here's a report. At the end of the program, there's a final report on the results and what's actually occurred, where we've won, where we've lost, and all that sort of thing, and some detailed analytics around that.
Okay, so you customize a program or what you said for each individual company.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so optimization,
or set of domains.
Yeah, optimization is a very, very sophisticated process now. If you're doing it yourself, or what some people do, they say, I'm going to send all my traffic to one place for a few weeks and all my traffic to another place for a few weeks, compare the results. You're comparing different time frames, number one. Number two, you can't compare the RPMs as I mentioned. Number three, you better make sure you've got it across at least week intervals so you don't have odd days messing things up, because quite often traffic obviously goes down on the weekends.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of processes you need to go through in order to actually work out whether an optimization has been successful. So
what you're saying is ParkLogic can take into account all of these factors.
Yeah, we take into account, my goodness, I don't know how many factors now.
Like you said earlier in the video, you match up lunchtime in Berlin to lunchtime in LA to get the standard.
I think we were talking about that earlier. Yeah. Yeah, it's not in this video, but yeah, we do that. We match up time zones, all that sort of stuff. Like there's so many things that we do on the optimization of traffic. It's it's been a five-year journey. For instance, we just released a new algorithm and a new what we call an auditing system for our customers. And some of our larger customers, my goodness, they experience sharp jumps in revenue because we're fanatical about it. Like we have a whole team of people that all they do is just focus in on how to generate more revenue for our customers, and with new technologies and all that sort of stuff. Being innovative, not just like, oh, maybe I can get a higher rev share. Great. Like, we competed against people who've said to us, I've got the best rev share in the world. Yeah, I've got this great sweetheart deal, and I've gone, fantastic, that's good, just try us out. And they said, oh, you'll never beat us, just trust me, try us out. And they go along, they bring their domains across, and the first question I try to ascertain is, what's their appetite for risk?
Okay.
So they may say, look, Michael, I want to send all my traffic back to where it was before. So we normally do that. So they route the traffic, goes through ParkLogic, we establish a baseline, and everyone agrees that yes, that it's earning correctly. We can get a PL RPM for every domain,
Okay.
ParkLogic RPM, that we can then measure against as well. Then they say, look, Michael, I'm only prepared to test 30% of the traffic at a time.
Okay.
And I go, no problem at all.
If I'm a person giving traffic to you, if I'm giving a bigger percentage of my traffic, will that produce faster or more accurate results?
It'll produce, it's faster process.
Okay.
It's a faster process. And the other thing, as I mentioned before, a person who tests like 3 weeks and 3 weeks at different times and stuff, what we do is we do everything simultaneously.
Okay.
So it all happens at once. So we can test a multitude of places all at once.
That's great.
Anyway, so that large domainer can come to us, we put up together a program, we work out their risk profile, we sit down with them, we then meet with them every single week, we then take them through reports, results, and we're very upfront. This is the results. We don't hide anything in ParkLogic. In fact, you know exactly how much commission we even earn off you.
Yeah.
We don't hide a thing, so it's all there. All there and upfront. So we hope that's refreshing to people, and that they find it worthwhile.
Yeah, that's all we have time for today. Hope you enjoyed our video. We really enjoyed the feedback from the last video we produced. So don't hesitate to post a comment, question us, pick our brains a bit, and we'll see if we can get back to you as fast as possible. Until next time then.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next time, Tim. I think we've got some exciting topics ahead of us.
Okay, excellent. See ya. Bye.
Bye.